In this overview, we're going to cover the basics of RFQ creation, management, and purchasing through Ply. This robust feature will allow you to have more transparency in your procurement and find cost savings using our best lead time and the best pricing algorithms. Before we get into that, let's quickly talk about the differences between RFQs and POs in Ply. The main differences between a PO and an RFQ is an RFQ opens up the purchasing to a request to gather bids, whereas a PO allows you to have a specific supplier that you're sending the request to that generally will have a predetermined set price as well as relationship and contract. There's a lot of functionality here, so we're not going to be covering everything in this video, and we'll dig a little bit deeper on more specific topics in other tutorials. All right, so let's get into it. Purchasing can be found in the Purchasing tab in the left-hand menu. Let's go ahead and click that. Up at the top here, you'll be able to search for any RFQ, as we can see. And you'll see a bunch of different tabs here: requests, purchase activity, and projects. Requests is the main section we're going to focus on today. And this is a Kanban board that allows you complete transparency throughout all purchasing within your organization. Purchase activity is a digest of all activity that is happening within your organization. So if you need a quick glance on what purchasing is happening at any given time and really chronological order of completion date, you'll be able to see that. And projects allow you to have a space where you can actually purchase for long-term construction projects within a single space. Let's head back over to requests, and we're going to create a brand new request from scratch. I'm going to click add new request here, or you can actually click add new request up upper right-hand corner, or throughout the application in the purchasing section, you'll be able to see this plus sign here. Let's click add new request. First thing we're going to do is click on request name and input in the request name. Now this may be a job number or an address as an identifier of what this request is for. We have three different types of requests. We have single requests for projects. We have a project request where, again, you'll be able to create that aggregated space with all of the requests so you can track the movement of purchasing for a whole project. Or replenishment requests, which we'll get into a little bit, which will show you all the replenishment requests and allow you to generate a replenishment request from a specific location. For this, I'm going to click on single requests, and you'll be able to choose whether this is tax exempt or not. I'm going to click next, and I can search materials throughout my catalog by clicking in the add materials search bar here. And I'm going to choose a few. And you'll see they'll populate here, and we're going to enter in the quantities. And maybe I just want to add a note here. You can also upload files. If you have a bid set or an Excel sheet, you'll be able to upload this and it will actually process the whole file the best it can. It uses computer vision to pull off the data, and then it will aggregate it into a list that looks similar to this one. Now that we've selected our materials, we're going to click next step. And at this stage, we're going to invite our suppliers. So you can invite one supplier, and this will send off the request to that single supplier, or you can invite many suppliers, which will send it out in a bulk email to all those suppliers. Now, they'll receive separate emails. It's not like they're all going to be on the same email thread, and they'll be able to respond accordingly, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I'm going to click next step. And on this step, we're going to enter in the fulfillment information. So you're going to let your supplier know when you need this order fulfilled by, the contact name of the person who's going to be in charge, and the main location or locations that you want it to be shipped to. I'm going to click next step here. And then I'm going to add in the users within your organization who are ones that need to be involved within the communication. And finally, I'm going to make a confirmation of all the details that I'm going to be sending to a supplier here. And at any time, you can click the edit button for any of these sections. Once I hit submit, this order is going to generate a space where we can track all of the activity, as well as automatically send that bid in an email to those suppliers and that contact information that you have listed. Now, this space is going to be visible for all people who have access to admin, member, or manager access. However, you can also add additional people to this as well if they're a technician or they don't have the other types of access to be able to view and communicate with this particular order request. So up at the top here, we have the job information, the RFQ number, who it was created by. And on the right-hand side, you have all kinds of different controls for archiving, sharing, extending the delivery, or deleting. In the share section, if you'd like to add another supplier here, you'll be able to select the supplier or suppliers. Customize the email body, order notes, delivery notes, and even attachments, and then you can share this out to suppliers. Additionally, and what gets sent to the supplier is a PDF as well as this link here. and you'll be able to see what the request looks like when it goes to the supplier. Now, they don't have to interact with each line item here, like you can see. They can. However, they can also just attach based on the request that they receive here or in the PDF that's generated for the RFQ. Suppliers will have control over adding the lead time, the quantity, the cost, and even creating a swap based off of the materials that you have in your catalog. They can enter in the swap item ID number, brand, manufacturer, measurement, and quantity that they have on hand. Now, if a supplier doesn't have this item on hand, they can remove it, which will cross it out and indicate to you that they don't have this material. Let's head back over to the RFQ. Under the material bids, you'll be able to see a number of boxes, and I'm going to actually head over to one that has a couple of bids so you can see what it looks like completely filled out. In this example, you'll be able to see two boxes that indicate mixed bid by lead time and mixed bid by price. These are two applied proprietary algorithms that allow you to see the best combination of lead time and price. Ultimately, the goal of these is to make sure that you have your materials in the time fashion that you would like, or materials with the price and budget in mind. This is also a great way for you to see unrealized potential in your cost savings. So let's take a look at what this looks like when we click on next bid. It's going to show us that if we purchase this material request across 4 different suppliers, that we'll be able to save a couple $100 on just this one request. So you can see what the breakdown looks like, those materials, and then you can take action accordingly. Now, once you select the material action that you'd like, the suppliers will be notified of the materials that you would like for that request. So in this example, supplier 4 for powered air, they're going to get a request or a purchase order to purchase only these 3 items in these quantities for these pricing. Now, if we head back over to the offers section, these are all of the offers that are going to come in for each of your bids from your suppliers. You can see that we've selected this one. And when we click on that, you'll be able to see a list of the materials, the pricing, and then the breakdown of all the costs. And we can continue to be able to make a decision on how we'd like to pay. Now, Plan has 4 different methods of payment. You can choose our net terms product. This is a product where you have to be approved, and please talk to your customer success manager if you'd like to be added to that program. You can pay directly with a credit card or an ACH payment, or in some cases, you're going to pay outside apply, which indicates that you have a relationship with your supplier for net terms or you're paying them in another way. So I'm just going to click submit. And this will automatically generate an order for us that we can then take a look at as well. Additionally, on this page, you'll be able to see request details. So this is the original request, the people who were involved in the additional information that was requested, any attachments that get added to this request. This could be bid sets, submittals, any information about the products. It all gets captured within this section. This is really great if you're dealing with materials that are serialized or materials where you have to go back for approval from the architect. It just gives you a space where you can actually maintain all of the information in a single spot. We can look at the fulfillment information and edit anything if it changes. And then finally, we can see all of the request information, the movements, and any changes that were made within your organization. So in this case, you can see that the request has changed from pending to accepted on this particular date. And this person was assigned. All activity is captured here and will be completely transparent to your business. Now, one of the big benefits of having a board that allows you to see all of your purchasing is it removes the business risk of having a single person be bottleneck in purchasing. It creates a sense of transparency in the organization so you can actually see what's going on. In case that person leaves the company or is sick for even one day, you'll have an idea of what's going on and can take action accordingly. You can see the board is broken up into a number of different statuses, including open requests, requests with bids, bids selected, transaction complete, logistics that have been finalized, delivered, expired, and archived. Now, you'll notice a little different treatment on the delivered section here. You'll see that there is a button once the item has been moved over into the delivered section. It generates a confirmed receipt button that allows you to reconcile the items back into your inventory with a single click. So here's what that looks like. You'll be able to see the delivery details. You can make changes to where the stock needs to end up. So if it was delivered to the main warehouse, but maybe you need to send it to a job or a particular location, you can do that. Or even select a job from your jobs list here. I'm going to choose our main warehouse. And then you can go through and make changes to the quantity. Let's say in this case, they delivered 9 instead of 10. We can make that edit. And then the supplier will be notified accordingly that there has been a mistake in the order. When we scroll down here, we'll be able to see the final details, the adjustments that were made, and we can confirm receipt of this. And this is then going to add all of those items that we then accepted directly into our JFC location here. And we can see that activity here as a reconciled item from this particular RFQ. Now, heading back over to the purchasing tab, I want to call out one final thing here. Once you've accepted a bid, you'll be able to review this bid, and it creates an order that can then be sent over to your accounting software as a purchase order. Or if you're using ServiceTitan or any other FSM that accepts purchase orders, we can integrate with that as well. Essentially, what you'll be doing is you'll be generating and sending the data from Ply directly into QuickBooks Online or any other integrations that we may have. All right, that concludes our overview of RFQ and purchasing with Ply. Let us know if you have any questions.